Still let's see how far.
All right, so good morning if you're dialing in from the West Coast, and good afternoon to everyone else. Welcome to our webinar hosted by CDW Canada in partnership with Apple Education. We're thrilled to have you join us today as we go over what this new program will look like and what it will look like for your organization. So before we dive into our main content, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items to ensure you have the best experience possible. We are using Cisco WebEx events for today's session. So if you're new to WebEx, here are a few tips to help you navigate the platform smoothly. Please make sure your settings are configured correctly and your audio source can be adjusted by clicking on the drop-down menu at the bottom left of your screen. We encourage you to use the chat to interact with each other. However, if you have any additional questions that may not have been answered throughout the session, please do submit those in the Q&A panel, as our team will be collecting them and we'll do our best to have them answered and send you the information within the week. And last but not least, this webinar is being recorded and it will be available to all registered participants after the event. So if you miss anything or want to revisit the content, we will send out a follow-up email with a link to the recording, additional resources, and of course, a feedback survey. We would really appreciate your input to help us improve future webinars. I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself. So my name is Judy Afat, and I am the head of the education practice for CDW Canada. In this role, I am responsible for the strategic planning and execution of our K-12 and higher ed business nationally. I've been with CDW for 8 years now, and when I'm not trying to figure out what the next cool thing is in education, I am usually acting as an emotional support for my team of 14 sellers. Outside of work, I try my best to have a great life, and you will usually find me playing some sports or scuba diving somewhere around the world. And if anyone here is also a diving enthusiast, let's chat. And maybe we can convince Apple to sponsor us with a Apple Watch Ultra, and we'll put it to the test under the water. All right, we have an exciting agenda lined up. We'll hear from Apple first, and then we'll dive into what it means for you and how CDW can support your district's college or university current and future initiatives when it comes to digital workspace experience with Apple. And with that, I'd like to pass it over to Brendan Larry, CDW's dedicated channel manager at Apple. Brendan, over to you.
Thanks, Judy, and good morning, everyone. Thank you. Well, good morning from Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, I am visiting the Western Distribution Center for CDW out here in Vegas. And for those of you on the West Coast, it's still good morning. And for those of you back home, where I reside in the Burlington area of Ontario, good afternoon. Bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle Brandon Larry. I am the channel account executive responsible for the strategy and partnership for both education and enterprise with CDW Canada and Apple. I have two school-age daughters in the Ontario public school system and have a love for all things Disney and pyrotechnics. So if you're looking for a home fireworks experience, you can look me up and maybe we can chat. I've been with Apple for more than 17 years and am absolutely thrilled to be sharing some exciting news about Apple Canada's education journey today with you. We've enlisted the support of partners like CDW, which is now a national Apple authorized education reseller, to expand access to Apple technology to more students and teachers across the country. This partnership really aligns with Apple's commitment to increasing educational opportunities and fostering innovation in the classroom. Now, you might be wondering how CDW was chosen as one of the first partners to help Apple achieve this goal. Selection process involved careful evaluation of expertise, experience, and commitment to providing exceptional support to educational institutions. And CDW's proven track record of delivering high quality products and services make them an ideal partner for Apple's education initiative. I've been supporting CDW Canada exclusively for more than 8 years, and I can assure you that we've been building this partnership for a moment just like this one. CDW Canada, an Apple authorized reseller for over 2 decades, has established a comprehensive Apple practice catering to over 30,000 customers across both the education and the commercial sectors. Now, it's important to know that this change in Apple's approach to education won't change the products and services that you or your end users have access to. This brand new authorization has given CDW access to provide a complete end-to-end Apple education experience. Whether you're looking to purchase VPP credit, enroll devices in Apple School Manager, take advantage of specialty iPad bundles, or protect your devices with Apple Care for Schools, or maybe expand the development of your team with Apple Professional Learning, CDW can offer it all. And not only does CDW have access to all the products and services that you know and love from Apple, but they can also provide services that Apple has not been able to do so in the past. This includes things like asset tagging, kitting, pre-enrollment staging, and custom deployment and management services. While in the past, these have been services that you and your boards may have had to coordinate with a third party to execute, you'll be able to deal with one partner for your full device lifecycle from procurement to reclamation. This time, I'm going to throw it back to Judy to hear a little bit more about how CDW leveraged their full stack solution mindset to support education customers here in Canada. Thanks again, Judy. Back to you.
Thanks, Brendan. It's been great to have you truly as an extension of our team for all these years, and we're really looking forward to making you an extension of our customers' teams now to support their Apple initiatives. So I know there's been a lot of questions around what this new partnership will look like and what it means for your organization. And it's only Tuesday, so let's take a deep breath. As Brendan already alluded to, I'd like to really reiterate, not much is changing from the experience you've had working with the Apple education team. You will still have access to some key elements that made the Apple education program unique. So, for example, but not limited to Apple Care Plus for schools, multi-packs for iPads, volume purchasing program credits, that's also going to be available. The enrollment of your devices into ASM, and you'll hear more from Brett Hardy here as one of the panelists around what other services CDW can help offer your district, college, or university. So when major changes like the one we're going through right now happen, it always takes a village to make it successful and seamless. So now I will talk about some of the key resources supporting this initiative, and also the additional CDW offerings that will help you get the most out of your investments throughout this journey. Our goal is to help you consolidate as much as possible to enhance your Apple ecosystem. First, and I know you already heard from him, but I wanted to drive home how important he is as a resource to this partnership. Brendan is dedicated and exclusive to CDW in the sense that he's not dedicated to any other reseller. His role is vital in ensuring that we have direct access to the latest Apple products, updates, and support. He will be our primary point of contact for all things Apple, focusing on maximizing our partnership and driving growth. Next, we have the Apple Partner Product Management team. This team consists of Bruna, Stephanie, and Antonola, who work very closely with Brendan to ensure seamless collaboration and alignment with our goals. Essentially, they are responsible for managing our Apple partnership, whether that's coordinating events and webinars like this one, or sharing product and pricing updates from Apple to the broader teams at CDW, who in turn will communicate those to customers. Here, I'd like to talk about a resource that is quite unique to CDW, and that is the education strategist role. Doug Feebig recently joined us as an EdStrat after spending over 30 years within the K-12 sector in various roles, including IT leadership. Doug is in a prime position to understand the ever-changing needs of educational institutions and collaborating with our internal teams to ensure CDW is bringing forward impactful and relevant solutions to our education customers. Needless to say, his strategic insights and deep knowledge of the education sector will be instrumental in driving our success. So if you're tired of talking to the salesperson, give Doug a ring. And last but not least, our modern workspace team. This group is led by the one and only Brett Hardy, and they are responsible for developing and delivering comprehensive solutions such as device configurations, MDM assessments, migrations, and more. But that's enough from me now. I'll pass the stage over to Brett, who will do a much better job at explaining his vision and how his team can support our customers. Brett, over to you.
Thanks, Judy. And just for the record, I thought you were doing a great job. So next time if you want to do my slides, feel free to do so. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today for a little bit of time just for us to go through our program. I think based on what you've seen from Brendan and from Judy, it's quite evident that CDW is making a lot of investments in this partnership. Education has always been extremely important to us, and now we really feel like we've taken that to a whole new level with Apple as part of our portfolio. I just want to take you through the next slide, which is really where we talk about modern device procurement and management. And when we talk about modern work, I think we mean, for the context of today's conversation, the modern classroom. Technology is such a key piece that underpins the modern way of educating the next generation that's going to enter the workforce. And really, when we look at the way how we help schools, we're already doing that, by the way, quite well, where we've already engaged with quite a few school boards. When we look at the program we've put together, for us, what was really important is that it's simple and it's executable and it's understandable for all of our clients. So a lot of the organization institutions that we work with, it really starts with step one, where we want to understand your assessment and how are you conducting business today. That's not only just a technical conversation, but it's also operational. It's to understand how you're procuring your devices, how are you looking at planning out your refreshes, and what are some key requirements that you need to be successful within the classroom. All of those learnings are wrapped up in a comprehensive report. It's reviewed together with you. It's also reviewed with Apple in the background. And so when we talk about Brendan being a key resource to us, it's really even deeper than that. We have quite a large depth of technical resources that we have available to us that we collaborate and brainstorm with together on a regular basis. We take those learnings, we wrap it into a report, and then it's really about sitting down with you and understanding, where do you want to be tomorrow and how do we get you there? And that's where we get engaged in the design and architecture piece. And where we have the benefit is to really bring a multi-environment view, a multi-industry view to you. And when I talk about some of my other slides, we'll talk about how we actually engage on a global basis with our peers within CDW. Number three is really where the magic happens. We bring it together, and that's where we have a deep technical team. Judy spoke about that a little bit earlier. We bring that forward to help you implement the best of breed technology. And again, all these pieces here, these four pillars that you see, they can be consumed individually or again as a complete program. And the ultimate goal when we work with our clients is really to be at the table and help them plan their ongoing roadmap. Technology moves at an ever increasing pace, especially when we're looking at educating students. How do we make sure they have the greatest technology available to them and the best experience? So not only is this program designed about giving you the best value on the products, the biggest selection of accessories that help complement that experience, but it's really offering you that full stack of services that help you to maximize your environment and to maintain that on an ongoing basis. And when we look at the next slide, I'm just going to pause for a brief second. We're not looking to be a jack of all trades as we take this program on. Phase one of this program is really focused around what we see as the two major solutions within the market, and that is really around Microsoft Intune. A lot of our clients, a lot of our institutions have investment already in M365, and they're already leveraging Microsoft Intune as part of their device management across the board. But when we look at specific environments where it's more focused on Apple, we have deep expertise around Jamf Pro and Jamf School. And Jamf School is, again, a derivative of Jamf Pro that is specifically designed for classrooms and for school boards. More than happy to talk to you about that off board. And where this is different is we have deep integrations into both organizations. So Microsoft and GEMF, we have partnerships that have been formed. And this is where there's ongoing roadmap planning sessions and deep technical discussions. So as we continuously educate ourselves, our goal is to bring those learnings back to the institutions and school boards on a regular basis. And so Brendan spoke earlier briefly, and let's flip to the next slide, please. Brendan spoke briefly about our configuration center out of Las Vegas. Brendan, by the way, I'm extremely jealous you're there and you didn't bring me. But the experience is really underpinned across the globe, and I'll speak that in the next slide, around a life cycle program. Now, typically what we've seen is, and even myself in the past, most of our competitors and most service providers speak about life cycle in a circular motion. For us, as we took this new program, we said we have to be different and we have to look at all angles of the experience. What are the challenges our customers see and how can we help them end to end? And so when you look at the circle on the operations side on the right, it really focuses on the traditional day-to-day operations. But on the left is where we see a bit of a shift and we're heavily focused on innovation. And this is where I spoke briefly earlier about the partnerships we've formed with all of our technology partners within the education space. Our goal is to continuously bring you the latest and greatest. What are the new learnings? What are the new products and features? And what do roadmaps from those individual partners look like to help you build a better experience? But again, your team is so focused on running day-to-day operations. Our goal is to help you to shift left and to further innovate and look at how can we focus more on strategy, and we can support you on the heavy lift. And on the next slide, just to leave you off with the final thoughts, Brendan today is in the United States, in Las Vegas specifically. We've got numerous ones of those throughout the country, but even internationally, we've got a large footprint where CDW has made significant investments into our own facilities. And those facilities include configurations capabilities. So think about the pre-build activities where you may ship mass deployments of iPads, phones, or even MacBooks to your students. The goal there is to streamline the deployment process. So leveraging School Manager, being able to have a zero-touch deployment experience, but what if you're shipping devices to low bandwidth areas where students don't have access to internet on a broader scale? So this is, again, we have complementary services that will help you build out an experience that includes asset tracking, integrating into your asset management system, and being able to pre-build or fully build out devices before they ship. The unboxing experience for the student is magical. As they enter their credentials, the experience is that the device is either already fully set up, or again, by leveraging modern device management, these devices will complete an over-the-air setup. Now, I've spoken heavily on this slide about international in the US. What does this mean for you in Canada? We fully recognize that education in Canada is different than the rest of the world. However, when we look at the technology stack, there are a lot of alignments. And this is where we want to bring the experience that we have globally to you in Canada. And this is where our teams across the board collaborate with our peers internationally. And our goal is to, again, to bring you the best of breed, best practice forward, and saying, how can we help you leverage the investments we've already made? Thank you again for your time today. I know this was really just a brief snippet on our service capabilities. I can't tell you I'm super excited on this. I myself am a Apple user, even for day-to-day, not only at home. So again, the investments we've made, the passion that we bring to you, hopefully that will help you move the experience forward. Judy, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'd like you to speak a little more about some of the procurement vehicles that we have available that help our clients take advantage of this program.
Of course. Thanks, Brett. And again, we understand that the procurement process in the education sector can be complex and time-consuming at times. That's why we have developed a suite of e-procurement solutions designed to streamline and simplify this process, allowing you truly to focus on what matters the most, which is outcomes for your student learning experience. So our e-procurement capabilities are truly designed to integrate seamlessly with your existing systems. Our digital integration team will work very closely with yours to ensure we're providing a user-friendly interface that makes it easy for your school community to find and purchase the products they need. The important thing to note is that this service comes at no cost to you. We understand how important it is for your teams to have a good procurement experience, so we want to be sure everyone has the ability to self-serve have real-time catalog visibility, or gets increased visibility on their orders. Here we've listed only a few of the many partners we integrate with. If you don't see the platform you use, please do reach out to us and we'll take a look at if it is on our list of vendors. We typically start with a consultation to assess your ERP systems, marketplace, contacts, policies, APIs, and timelines. Next, we design a solution tailored to your needs discussed in the previous stage. This can include a premium page, contract offers, standards, user demonstrations, testing, code, and so forth. We then deploy the solution with production release, training, and reporting. And finally, of course, we manage post-production defects and enhancements, and all of that working very closely with all the stakeholders within your institution. Many of you may be aware and leveraging a collaborative purchasing agreement or GPO contract with CDW or another supplier for that matter. In cases like most of you are in right now, moving from a direct sole source model with Apple Education to the channel by spring 2025, time is not necessarily on your side. So leveraging a contract can truly help you out. With that, here we have highlighted Kinetic GPO. It is an agreement available for you to leverage today for your Apple products and more. The agreement is 100% voluntary. There is no volume, spend commitments, or membership fees. You can essentially opt in to utilize them however you see fit, whether it just be for Apple Education or for all your IT needs through CDW. Some background on Kinetic. They are a national group purchasing organization with many different contracts available to all BPS, so all broader public sector, and MASH entities, so municipal, healthcare, and education. Currently, Kinetic is CDW's largest contract and highly adopted across Canada in all sectors. We have been awarded Kinetic, an awarded Kinetic supplier since 2017, and this is currently a second iteration of the IT contract sole awarded to CDW. With that said, we do understand there are other GPOs in market that will be looking to add Apple Education to their contract roster, like OECM in Ontario, Focused Education in BC, ISI in the Atlantic, or Cybera in Alberta. Please know that CDW is actively pursuing and intends on participating in those RFPs, because who doesn't love an RFP, and ensure we are best positioned to provide you with the GPO contract that best suit your needs. But if there's one thing you can take away from this slide is that Kinetic GPO agreement is live and available for you to leverage today for your Apple products and solutions. And this brings us to the end of our presentation. I'd like to truly take a moment and thank Brent and Brendan for keeping me company today. And of course, to all of you who stuck around till the very end. If you have any questions, please do reach out to your account manager, or you can also email us at cdweducation@cdw.ca. I would also encourage you to take a moment now and scan this QR code. It will lead you to our Apple Education page where you will find more information on what this partnership looks like for CDW and Apple. Thank you.